Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so that potential buyers can learn more about the business and the seller to help them make an informed buying decision. If you would like to learn more about this business, including details like what type of business it is, how much revenue and profit it makes, and all of the assets included with the business, simply visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business's listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and in the description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. So without further ado, let's get into this interview. First up, let's learn a little bit about you. Can you tell us about your background in building and running online businesses?
Hi, I'm Joshua. I started building e-commerces around 10 years ago. The previous business I had was also an Amazon-only business with 5 separate brands, which we ran to our 5 million in revenue in 3 years. And then after 5 years, we sold. This specific business, we started 2 separate brands around, 4 years ago now. And one of these brands we wanted to sell. In the meantime, that is also later, we'll probably talk about that, but we started an agency, a growth agency for Amazon around 1.5 years ago. We currently have 20 clients and we do the PPC, design work, and strategic consulting based on all the experience that we as a team have for the last 10 years. So our priorities have changed, and that's one of the reasons why we want to sell this business.
Why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
So we're selling the business to simplify how we are currently doing things, because we have 2 active brands. One is doing well on Amazon US, the other is doing well on Amazon Europe. And then we have the Amazon Growth Agency with 20 clients, which is growing. And apart from that, we would like to take some money off the table since, on a personal level, I just had my first child. My business partner is having his first child in a month and a half. And I just bought a house and my business partner is buying a house. So just cash flow. It's good to take some money off the table, get some money in the bank so we can invest it in different things and not have all the money tied up in the e-commerce brands that we currently have.
Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
For this business, to maintain it is very low. Why is that the case? Is because there's a relatively small amount of parent products. So we have a couple of parent listings that we have to run the ads for on the several marketplaces that we're currently in. So let's say we have France, Germany, UK, Italy, and Spain, which are the biggest marketplaces. Apart from that, we just reorder stock twice a year. There are some customer support, but we have outsourced it to a VA, and we either can have the same VA do it or provide a easy SOP how to deal with the questions. That shouldn't be difficult. Then there is VAT filings that need to be done because it's Europe and the UK where we're selling. Apart from that, there's not much to do. So I would say if it's just this brand, I would say 4 to 8 hours a week. And that's probably, I would say it might be an overestimate. So yeah, the peak season is in Q4 though. So in Q4 is just good value for your time to spend more time managing the ad, to micromanage a bit more, but in off-season, it's going to be less time-consuming. So I think probably off-season, let's say 4 hours, and then in high season, maybe 12 hours a week. And yeah, you definitely should be able to do it in that amount of time.
So if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways you would try to grow it?
There are several ways how we could grow it or just optimize for more profit. And the reason why there are I think there's a good amount of potential to grow the business, and why we haven't done so is because other parts of our company, let's say, where we can focus our attention, had higher return on investment on our time and our capital. well, mostly our time actually. But also like the other brand that we're in has like deeper markets. So we just decided to focus more of the energy into that brand. So how could we or would we grow things if we continue with the brand? Well, first thing is that we haven't negotiated prices in the last, let's say, since the start, maybe even with our supplier. Like, it's just not been a priority because this business more or less drives, let's say, 15% of the total profit or 20% of the Amazon FBA businesses we have. And then if we take into the agencies, even a lot less than that. So it hasn't had the attention that it deserves. So if this would be my only business, what would I do? Well, first of all, renegotiating with suppliers, that's a no-brainer because the product has great reviews. The main products have great reviews, like 4.7, nearly 4.8. And probably that can be negotiated quite a bit. If I would find different factories who make similar products, introduce ourselves and let them know how much products we sell each year, and then negotiate prices and use that to negotiate with our current supplier. The reason we've never done it because of laziness, because this is one thing that actually we always recommend to the clients we work with for the agency. Yeah, so the quickest gain you could make is just you most likely should be able to shave $1 or $2 off the cost of goods sold. And that's just a lot of extra profit each year. So we the first step. Second step, like the product we have in the market where we are currently in is kind of the premium part of the market we're catering to. Our supplier and other supplier make like a similar product, but with inferior quality, which still gets good reviews, but still gets 4.3 or higher. So as an expansion, like that product could be launched into the same niche. So we don't just target the premium buyers, like the top end of the niche, but also the entry level buyers in the niche. That could be a good expansion. Then thirdly, for the same reasons as we've not really grown the brand too much and we've not negotiated too much, we have not really dedicated any time in the UK. We haven't launched our main product in the UK actually, which same thing, like there's more than 1,000 reviews on the product. And because it's in the European market, it's just one of the market leaders with regards to sales profits, revenue units sold, probably also profits, as many times we're the best seller. So this product should do well in the UK as well, but we just didn't want to add it because of the logistics. We would have to then ship everything to the logistic. We would have to ship everything to the UK then and have to launch everything there, which in a sense is not that much work. It's just not something we ever prioritized because of the net gain that we can, like the actual maximum expansion of profit in this way. So like there's always been other things that were more urgent, more important, or we would estimate could bring in like more profit. Then in Amazon US, like we have been relatively successful. Last year, I think the profit was around 35, 40K. The thing is there, like we tried to become market leader, which we kind of did. We had the #1 bestseller badge during most of Q4. However, like the strategy for us to do so was we ordered a lot of products and we really spent a lot of money on ads, running all the deals as well. And that resulted in like a good profit. I mean, it's not bad, 35K additional 40K that can be made. However, like the return on investment was very low. So let's say it might be as low as 5%. So in that sense, it's very risky to get that extra 35, 40K. However, like if we would continue to run the business, like devise a plan how we could, instead of going for high volume, like go for low volume and then make sure we time it correctly. So what we've seen from last year is that after the Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals, like that period, we can just drive. If we don't have any organic rank, we can just drive product on PPC sales. So if the stock bought is significantly less, there's probably a very low risk proposal to get another 20 to 30K profits out of the US. We would also analyze markets like Canada. We've never really looked into that seriously, if there's money to be made there. And apart from that, there are also other markets that are very similar to this product that our factory also make products for that can be looked into, like analyze all of these markets and create products in these markets or also for accessories for these other products. These are all things that can be done. So I believe the profit can grow by quite a bit if the business gets the love that is required to get to that point, right? We haven't launched any new products in the last year or two, I believe. So yeah, of course, if there's no new products launched, if there's no negotiation with supplier, if there's not a lot of like things executed, given these circumstances, like the business is growing very well year on year, but there's a lot of potential to like create more growth if there's some time put into the business.
Right. And what would you say are the biggest risks with this business that buyers should be aware of?
The biggest risk is also the biggest opportunity in the specific niche we are in. The price point, as mentioned, that we target is we service like the premium, the high end space of the market on Amazon, which has worked very well for us. Like, even though we are serving like the people who want to spend more money on our products, like most of the year, we have historically the number one bestseller button in many of the marketplaces. And in Germany, which is the most important marketplace, we nearly always have it. What is a risk? Well, a risk is that an important risk with this business is that there could be low priced competitors with a great looking listing and a great product that enter the market and just squeeze the niche a bit, meaning that like if they provide a cheaper product that also looks good, which is a lot cheaper than our current offer, like that might be a risk. And that is why I think it's also a great opportunity because as we've done with the other brand is if our brand or is the brand who is going to launch this cheaper version. So you're just going to launch an entry level or a combination package version. So you could think of like, I would expand the product line. So if other people do it, like I would already find in our current supplier a product like our best selling product for half the COGS, launch it for a lot cheaper price, then potentially do a combination package and also launch that. So then for the brand, we can get both high organic spots and high PPC rankings. And we'll make it more difficult for competitors to get market share because you get high organic rankings and you buy the PPC spots, it's just going to be very difficult. So the risk would be that other companies would do this. Then that being said, there are already quite a lot of lower priced items. There's been companies have been trying to take market share, and actually over the years, our market share has only grown and our profitability has only grown. Yeah, it is a risk, but I see it as an opportunity for the business to expand into that niche and to lower that risk by basically taking that market share yourself. And the more the brand will have market share in the niche, the less attractive it will be for other brands to do so, and it serves as like a protective measure, right? So, yeah, I don't really see it as a massive risk if right action is taken. If there's no action taken, yes, it can be a significant risk that lower price sellers come in and try to take a market share by doing that.
How much support are you willing to offer the buyer who acquires this business?
We can offer a lot more than probably any of the other Amazon businesses on the market. And the reason for this is that we actually run an Amazon growth agency where we do PPC, strategic consulting, design work. And what we can offer for the buyer is exactly the same that we've been doing in our own business and that we help our clients with. So we can offer 6 months of consulting, of PPC management, design work, like help with entering new markets, like which markets to enter, like which new products to buy, which not to buy, like all these kind of things. So 6 months we can do for free, and then after we can work with a reduced price for a longer amount of time. Like the good thing here is that the workload for the business will go down by a lot, and the 4 to 12 hours mentioned earlier would go down to like 1 to 4 hours a week, depending, of course, on how much the buyer wants to expand the business compared to just manage and slightly grow the business. Like if there's a lot of new markets to enter, a lot of new products to be created, like then of course the buyer will have to dedicate more time. But if it's in a current structure, if the buyer would work with us, they can be assured that we've basically built and managed the company for the last 4 years, the brand. And we're also helping like other clients with PPC and strategic consulting, and they're very satisfied. So I would say that should inspire a lot of confidence in the buyer, because in the position of the buyer, you never really know what you're going to buy. And if after a month or three, like the seller just runs away because that's the deal, like after 3 months, there's no more help, that can be quite shitty, let's just say. So I think that's one of the unique features that we can offer. And yeah, that's it.
Are you open to negotiating something like an earnout agreement?
We're open to discuss. And the main reason for this, there's two reasons for it. First reason is that the first business I've sold, there was a significant earnout structure in that deal, which was acceptable to me because the upfront amount was quite high. So the multiple upfront was also good, and there was a very high earnout structure. And then what happened is there's many ways to, let's say with bookkeeping, to make it look like there's less profit. There's many ways to just run the business into the ground or focus on something entirely differently and make profit there, but then just say oh, we didn't make a profit with this part of the business. In my experience, it puts us in a very vulnerable position. And since we're offering so much support and we have a lot of, let's say, credibility because of our clients who are very happy with us, because of our track record, and because of the fact that we're willing to and happy to keep working on the business, I think the confidence that things should go well or will go well is a lot higher than with other businesses to buy. So that's the first reason that I think it exposes us too much to, let's say, creative bookkeeping and any other things from potential bad actors. So I don't want to put us in that position. Secondly, we are selling because we are looking to cash out some of the money, right? So we're looking for an upfront sum of money because of the earlier mentioned fact I've just become a father, I've just built a house, some money off the table on the relative short term is both looking for. That's the reason why we're not open for a earnout payment structure.
Okay, final question. If you had to put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why is your business a business worth buying?
So there's several reasons. One I would say is the historical performance. It's been a brand that's been growing for the last 4 years without launching new products in the last 2 years. So both revenue and the profit has gone up without adding more products. And you don't see that a lot. Usually what happens on a brand on Amazon, if you have a product range and you don't add and launch new products, profit will go down because markets get more saturated, etc. Well, in this brand, that's not the case. Secondly, the brand is a market leader. It has the number 1 bestseller badge for the 2 best performing products most of the time and has had it historically. That's also pretty great. Third, it's quite diversified. So the profits don't just come from one marketplace. It comes from the whole of Europe, in the UK and in the US. There's room for growth. In the US has already shown 20 to 40K a year additional profit can be made there. Then strategy might need to change compared to what it was before, but it's possible. In the UK, I estimate between 10 and 15 or maybe more $1,000 a year should also be relatively easy to be done. Fourth, there's a lot of expansion possibilities into similar niches or the same niche and just cheaper entry-level products. Fifth, there's negotiation on COGS that honestly should get you $1 or $2 for the main product of the COGS or something in that range. And that immediately just, gives you extra profit, which is great. Sixth, I think it's a business worth buying because of the connections and because of the skill set that we as a seller have. And we also leverage with our agency. We would basically tap into our experience and also not just getting advice, but also getting services from a company that has grown several business to 5 million in revenue, that has helped other companies to add up to 30 to 200% in their yearly profits, that has helped companies launch many new products. We've personally launched over 300 products now, so we have a lot of experience. And also the group of sellers we have helped grow, they have also a lot of experience in the space and they have their own ways of doing things. So you also buy the connection and all the information that we can access. So I think all of that together, and then seventh, the support in general, 6 months of free, not just support, but also management. And then after working with us, I think that's all good reasons that it's a great business to buy.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this business is still for sale, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll find everything you need to know about this business. So, thanks for joining us. See you next time.